Good. Welcome to the S.H.O.P, the social hub of positivity. Very excited to, well, just generally very excited, let's face it. I don't know if it's a sort of inherited thing or it's a chemical thing induced by the toxic atmosphere of the world, especially around the council. Anyway, here's the crack. Today, we have this wonderful person. Now, I do say wonderful a lot of times, and I find that's because a lot of people are wonderful. This is Jess Way, and she is a very talented artist. And I'm saying that from my heart because I've seen it. Now, hopefully Maya's going to put some examples of Jess's stuff, so you can look at it and go, yeah, that looks really good, okay? But more importantly, the reason why I'm excited is because Jess has recently got in contact, and we're going to, as part of this ongoing project with the Wessex Water, they are their community outreach and the community area of their organisation, which gets great feedback, to be fair, and a lot of criticism around water companies. You're going to talk in a minute, Jess.
No,
honestly.
that's fine.
I don't know what I'm saying.
It's
okay,
fine.
I don't prepare this. You know, literally, I asked you 10 minutes ago, would you do this?
Yeah.
Right, because you come here to look at the space in the S.H.O.P, in the social hub positivity, in Emery Gate, which of course, as you know, is in Chippenham, which of course is in Wiltshire, which of course is in England, which of course is on the planet Earth, and which of course this is Lauren Rogers, you wonderful thing. Now, if this is the one that's going out on Sunday, because as I'm saying this, it will be going out, so it will be Sunday, but when you watch it, it might not be. It's Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Christmas Eve, babe, in the S.H.O.P. An old girl said to me, "Go shut up and get on with this podcast." Right, so here's the thing. Last Sunday, we were very fortunate because we had the wonderful Steve Perriman that came in with his fantastic wife and his colleague Wayne. I want to say a big shout out to him. And we did the official opening of the shop. So we're going to add some photographs of that now. Right? See, that was good. And we're going to see so lots of books signed, lots of books, but more importantly, he spent a lot of time talking to fans. And I really admire him for that because he must have spoken to so many. Now, for those of you who don't know, Steve Perriman was played the most games for Tottenham ever. Probably the most decorated captain as well. So he's got a lot to talk about. And he spends a lot of time talking to people, and it's a tribute to him and his wife, who must be standing around for hours everywhere they go when football fans come. I'm going to get to you.
No, it's fine.
If you
I'm
were a
happy
football
to
player,
listen.
are you? You're
No,
so
I'm
sweet.
not.
No, oh no, you're not happy to listen.
Oh no, I'm happy to listen, but I'm
genius.
not a football player.
I thought
If
that
you
was
just asked me.
genius, yeah. I'm happy to listen. No, I'm not.
No,
That would be
I
good
didn't come
comedy.
here for this.
No, yeah, what are you talking about? Exactly. Come on, everyone. Does it have to follow any sort of typical, traditional, conventional format? No, it doesn't. This is you agreed to do it 10 minutes ago
Yeah.
because, back to what Jesse did. Anyway, big thanks to Steve Broman, absolute legend. And it was a great day, and thanks to all the volunteers and everyone that came and made it such a special day, and Lauren for getting that all sorted, and Donnelly and all the volunteers, etc., in the shop. Right, back to that. Steve, love you. Thank you so much. Jess Way, fantastic. Thanks, Daisy. That's really kind of you. That's really kind. Thank you. Right at the top. Right. Right, so basically Steve did that, was great. Jess came in, contacted us, she came past our other place above Shoestrings in Chippenham and got in contact and said, I like what you do, I like the cut of your jib. She didn't say that, but it's kind of the intention. So we met up, I looked at her stuff and I said, that's a good thing about the internet. For all the bad things about the internet, being able to check people's work out is really interesting actually, without you having to lug a big portfolio around. Because I guess yours would be quite heavy.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You've got a great portfolio of work. Again, hopefully you will have a chance to see an example of this, as I did, on this wonderful technology that we are putting out here. Anyway, I really rated it. You heard what I said. I think I might have some sort of condition since childbirth where I can't contain myself. Do you know what I mean? So it's it's an interesting thing, which is really good when you're being complimentary. But as people who aren't so good, the local councillors, for instance, not all of them, but some, I can't help but say, wait a minute, I think I've got the kid in the Emperor's New Clothes syndrome. When I see something, I say it. So I loved your stuff.
Yeah.
You came in, met myself and Donna, looked at how we might work together in the community, because this is the bit. It's all well and good you being a fantastic artist, because, darling, I know fantastic artists. You've been around the shop now. I'm surrounded by fantastic artists. Okay, I can't move. Fantastic. But it's actually the other element. It's the empathy and the care and you're into sustainable development as well as sustainability. So all those things tick the box. So any minute now, people are going to go, is this person ever going to actually talk? And I'm going to say, I don't know. I can't predict what's happening here, let alone predict whether Jess is even going to be bothered. If you've got any oxygen left to talk now. So we're going to do a joint project which you can get involved in if you happen to want to come and get involved. We'll see it advertised. It'll be the Wessex Water. It'll be about the water cycle. What might it be? Jess, over to you. Now I can drink my drink. Thank you.
So I'm mostly a textile artist. I work a lot with fabrics and second-hand fabrics and sort of organic and recycled materials. And because this is a community project, we're looking at a way that we can get everyone sort of involved in this. So at the moment, I've been doing a lot with quilting and patchwork. So the idea at the moment, in the early stages, is that it's going to be a big community patchwork that sort of brings in, people can do it by hand, works with the centre, and then doing some workshops in the shop, and it would just be a way to get everybody involved.
And that's quite intergenerational as well. So you'd be doing
exactly.
Perfect. So you'd be doing some parts of the project with our young people in our alternative / complementary education project, which runs term time. And you'd be not just looking, because we are looking at the water cycle. Behind everything, there's an opportunity to learn more for everyone involved. Not only will they be working towards understanding the water and how Wessex Water deliver our water, etc. We've already done trips to the what do you call it? Not the sewage works. What do you call it? They call it something posh now. Anyway, they call it something, don't they? The recycling. No, is it the water treatment plant? It used to be the sewage works, but now it's the water treatment plant, which is fantastic. So we've done some of that. Young people have been to that. They will find it really interesting. My daughter went there, and she keeps telling me stuff about it. And she was 4, then she's now 5. It's actually had a massive imprint on her, in a good way, about recycling water and or what you put down the toilet, and you can't put wipes and stuff. And I caught her telling her teddies.
Great.
I mean, I didn't want to break it to her that her teddies literally never use the toilet, which is a shame, because her room is covered in teddy poo. But she was explaining to her teddies, so it's really useful, and I think that's kind of what we need in our society, a bit of transparency. I think it's great that Wessex Water are doing these projects, and we've done lots of different aspects to it, including testing water, drinking different water, all this sort of good stuff. With yours good self, as I say, it's not just about the fact that you're a fantastic artist, it's that you care about the environment and you use recycled materials, which is really important because
it cuts down on the amount of water usage in production. So I used to work in product design for a fashion company and sort of saw firsthand the impact that can have on local suppliers' water and things like that. So anywhere that we can use organic, recycled or second-hand is massively impacts that. So it's sort of raising awareness of that and kind of educating people some more on that, and then involving it in the project.
And that's fantastic. And also another aspect was dyeing. What were you we thinking about this?
Yeah, so we've kind of floated some ideas.
Not dying dead, because that was
yeah,
we floated some ideas about dead people. They're dead.
Sounded quite morbid,
isn't it?
Dyeing fabrics,
colours
and things. So we've talked maybe about running some natural dye workshops, maybe doing some indigo dye, because that's got sort of the lovely colours of water and the blues. Possibly looking at things like ice dyeing, where you're using water in a different form of ice, and just seeing what kind of techniques and patterns and sort of tie dyeing effects and stuff that we can get involved in the whole piece when it comes together.
Brilliant. And it's intergenerational, so we can have young people working on it as well as I mean, there is no age limit. Our hub is quite unique in that sense because it's intergenerational. There's another hub that started after our one, which is predominantly for sort of senior citizens, which is fantastic. But this one works with toddlers. We do all sorts of workshops, but also teenagers, which in our unfortunate society, since they've destroyed the youth service and the Bridge Centre, do I need to keep going on the Bridge Centre? Yes, I do. Why? Because if I don't keep highlighting the fact that we've got some appalling councillors, that are in office, if this makes you uncomfortable, try be me. We will keep voting them in, and we shouldn't because they're abominable, some of them. Anyway, it's important that because, particularly around teenagers, there's such a I don't know what's the word I'm going to use here. Neglect is going to be one of them. I have this sort of suspicion that sort of when a child is young and their parents are sort of hands-on in the early stages, I have been to parent and toddler groups. They're usually called mother and toddler groups, but I was a musician in London. I used to go to them because as a musician I used to be gigging at night. So I'd take my children to the mothers and toddlers groups, and I was the only male there, which gave me quite an interesting insight into how that worked and the value of actually being involved hands-on as a father. Now, you're going to say, what's this got to do, Ed, with our project? And I'll tell you, Jess, and thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
Because the people out there going, I don't know, does he ever stick to the same subject? Does he ever follow through with the conversation? Bringing it back to teenagers is that they're legislated for when they're toddlers-ish, not probably well enough, but ish. And adults, of course, you vote, so you can talk up for yourself. But teenagers neither can vote and are kind of cast out, in a sense, in a lot of ways, particularly when there's a socio-economic aspect to their well-being. If you were to look just at Chippenham, I don't know where it is where you come from. You live in Neston, don't you?
Yeah.
It's just a pretty little village. I don't know if there's any facilities. We've done work in Potley in Corsham. Which again, there's an aspect to that which I would say is written off. There isn't a youth service in Corsham anymore. There isn't one in Chippenham. I don't think there is many anywhere around the country, which is appalling. And this is pre-COVID. Remember, this is to do with the likes of David Cameron, Lord Cameron as he's known now. I mean, have you ever seen what society we live in? The man was associated with getting £6 or £7 million from Greensill. What's this got to do with this project? I'll tell you in a minute. From erroneously, not, he wasn't supposed to get it. He knew that they were going bankrupt, and now he's been made the Foreign Secretary. We are in a disastrous situation. Bring it back to youth, bring it back to this project. The project is this, that. If you don't have people like you in the society that are willing to share your ideas and your gifts, because you are very talented, a lot of people are very selfish. They forget about the young kids, they forget about the teenagers, then wonder why everyone's quality of life, particularly senior citizens, ironically, because they're scared and they are feeling they can't go out themselves when there is nowhere for all these young people to go. And that falls squarely on local politicians. Look whose decision it was to get rid of the Bridge Centre. Pete Hutton, Bill Douglas, we asked them about keeping it on because we use it more than they do. Like, you can see how we use this. It's a community centre. We would have been using that, and we used it more than the youth service who say ran it. We offered to pay for it, and Pete Hutton happens to be a Conservative. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. Oh yeah, it has, because they were trying to get rid of this is back to austerity. This is about the big society idea of David Cameron, £6 million or £7 million allegedly, and Lord, that's disgraceful. Anyway, so it's really important that we have people like yourself that understand the value of sharing your knowledge with younger people. I know we're going to do senior citizens and anyone who wants to get involved here, But the bit that I was really keen to ask you about was about working with teenagers. Do you remember that aspect of it? And saying that actually some of the teenagers we work with might not openly, happily get involved because they have bigger issues.
Yeah.
But with patience and kindness and support,
Yeah, absolutely.
open doors and open opportunities. And that's what impressed me about you. Because, yeah, you could have been fine doing a project in here. But when I explained to you about some of the nature of some of the challenges that our young people have, I was waiting to see if you would go, well, maybe I'll just do the other bit then. So it's a tribute to you and your family that you're a kind, and well, see, we'll come back to this once you've done the project and see if you...
Yeah, see if you still agree with that.
yeah, but it's that you kind of took it on board.
Yeah.
I hope you kept thinking about it and maybe checked out what we do and realised that actually, that's a massive, important part, because we're trying to prevent them at a time when they're big enough and, dare I say, powerful enough to cause themselves and the society around them a lot of damage if they feel disconnected, if they feel undervalued, which they must do considering how badly they've been treated. So we try to divert them. We have to give them something. We have to give them something which is worthwhile and meaningful. Worthwhile and meaningful, is that the same thing? I don't care. I don't care if it's the same thing at all, Lauren. Thank you for asking. But it's important, and I thank you for that. So, what else do you want to say about your work? It is tremendous. Say something about your work. Go on.
Blimey. So, I feel like I'm really on the spot here.
So, what inspires you? Why did you get into what you're doing?
I got into textile design. I love anything arts, crafts, that kind of thing, because I just love making.
Yeah.
I love using colour, I love creating texture. The process of making with my own hands mostly I find very sort of calming, and at one end of the spectrum calming, and the other end of the spectrum super inspiring and sort of makes me feel really enthusiastic. So it just performs for so many different aspects of my life, and it's been an undercurrent to everything that I've done. A lot of my work is sort of quite multimedia, because I can never just pick one thing and go with that. I just love to experiment with too many different things. I often end up sort of creating stuff. If I don't like it, I'll cut it up and I'll see what else I can do with it, and sort of just try to think quite creatively about everything I do, really. So
it's because, see, this is the bit, isn't it? And that's why I want to make art as available to everyone as possible. And I've worked in prisons and mental institutes, all sorts of stuff. When I say mental institutes, I don't mean Parliament, I mean real mental institutes. And you realise that there, but for the grace of whatever, go I, because I got diverted from the wayward, angry about society, angry about how let down I was as a teenager by society, or I perceived I was, because I was, not me personally, but us generally. Again, going back to it, remembering not being valued as a teenager then, and being angry, and smashing stuff up. And I don't recommend that to anyone, because it has a negative impact. So here I am, now working alongside fantastic people like yourself and Lauren and whoever, to enable people not to get tempted down that route, road, or whatever. So it's really, I love the fact that you use multi-layered approaches, because if nothing else, art is something that helps us with our own mental health, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So therefore, by doing is the reward. Doing is the reward of any artistic pursuit. That we can make money from it is a societal decision. But we as a society, or as a civilization, have come about sitting around campfires, doing tribal dances and doing cave paintings, which are there mainly to educate and to... Right. So the value of art, and as Margaret Thatcher will tell you from getting Saatchi and Saatchi involved in her campaigns, the churches will tell you, because they got Michelangelo to do the Sistine Chapel to inspire awe in human beings. Go figure that. And then charge them loads of money. Look at the Vatican. So art and artists have been exploited and bastardized, if I may use that for word on a Sunday, and hijacked really to persuade people about religious and political ideology, But actually, its real power is about the freedom of the individual, the idea about being a problem solver, about being a creative problem solver in your own scenario and situation.
Yeah.
Do you do anything else, and you do enough in what you do, but do you do any other forms? Do you sing, for instance?
Not in the shower, but sort of nowhere else, especially.
Yeah, but do you know the value of it?
I enjoy doing
Right.
that, and when I'm by myself in the car, I have a sing. And
There you go.
It's nice to get
So,
it out.
right, of course, this is my point. So we have a singing group here on Tuesdays. Not that I'm going to suggest you join it. What I'm going to say though is it not the case with singing that people have been hoodwinked into the idea that unless you can win the X Factor, you shouldn't sing publicly?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is it not the same then also with every other art? Now you've seen lots of different artists. A lot of them have started because of the lockdown. So if nothing else, the lockdown had some positive effect on people's ability to look into themselves, to be creative again, and unlock something that may be hidden away from the stresses of the ardour of everyday work, meaningless work, a lot of it. No disrespect, but lots of people don't mean to. They just have to do a job to pay the bills. We're just totally that our society is set up wrong. It needs to be recalibrated. Without any violence, it needs to be recalibrated. I often tell young people they'll put more money into catching you for a crime than they will to help you prevent you doing it in the first place. If you look at the infrastructure around courts, how much money we'd spend on a young person going through court and then incarcerating them, and then what happens to them when they're incarcerated, which I've seen it firsthand, you go, oh, wow, why would we do that? And now it's been privatised, so now we do it more often so that people can make money of it. However, tell that to the victims of crime, when all they're doing is living with the victim, being a victim because someone in their family or them personally have been affected directly by crime and antisocial behaviour. Well, I would say that if everyone was given an equal chance in life, and if the arts, drama, music, etc., were a priority in school, it's not the teacher's fault, it's not head teacher's fault. This is about funding, this is about priority, this is about what is education for. What school did you go to?
Education.
Right, great. And I did a load of work there back when I was 21. Great school. We're lucky in this area, we've got great schools. I'm not criticising the schools at all, I'm criticising the structure from which they have to work in. If you were to talk, and I talk to lots of teachers, really, the majority of them would want to be freer, wouldn't really want to be suppressed by and controlled by the curriculum, which isn't necessarily built upon the needs of individuals, but really designed to control and to prepare people to be part of the workforce. Have I said too much, Jess? You said, do you know what? If I'd have known all this before we had this meeting, I wouldn't have bothered.
We're covering a lot here, but it's all relevant.
Yeah.
It comes back to the same point, doesn't it?
I'm glad you get that, because I think a lot of people go, oh, I don't get it. Lauren, for instance, he says stuff like this every time. And I really do not understand what he's talking about, but I just go along with it, because he's a nice bloke, really. Thanks, Lauren. Thank you for that. Anyway, I'm excited by this project. As you probably saw the other day, so is Donna. And it was actually Donna's idea about the Wessex water thing, because I think that would makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And that it's intergenerational is really important.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone can get involved.
Do you ever do exhibitions?
I've had some exhibitions,
Yeah. Would you be up for doing one in our shop pre this event, so that people can see, and obviously this will go out, and all the 4 people that will watch they won't be 4. Yeah, they'll watch this. Lauren doesn't even watch it. This is how bad this is, right?
You're seeing it live. So.
Yeah, she is. Don't worry, she's seeing it. She's here in body, in spirit. She's actually sorting out stuff downstairs in her head, going, yeah, he's going to finish, and then I'll go back to that. Yeah, I think it would be nice if we put an exhibition of your stuff in the shop, and then people can sign up and get to meet you and what have you, and then we can introduce you. There was a few young people there today that I wanted you to, that I think would be ideal for this project.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great.
Fantastic. So, is this about it, do you think? Have we said enough?
I think so.
Is there anything else you want to say to the world while you have this opportunity, Jess?
No, if I'd been given more than 10 minutes to prepare, maybe I would have something really impactful to say right now.
You don't get 10. You didn't really get 10 minutes.
No,
to be
I
fair.
didn't. I was just told to sit down and
No,
have a cup of tea, and here I am.
No, you were asked slightly.
I was asked.
What did you want to drink, and would you do it? And you did it. No, it's really important because I want to get the word out there, because I want to acknowledge the good work that Wessex Water do as well,
Yeah.
but also to start being able to say to people, look at this thing, then you'll see who this artist is, and we'll have an exhibition again. When we do another podcast, so that you can talk about each piece and whatever.
That sounds great.
Yeah? Right, listen, have a wonderful solstice.
I've got a very hot hand.
Hot hand!
I've been holding my tea.
Well, you have. Wow. Just remember never to do that again. That's
I
really
know.
good. That's very good. Jess Way, everyone. Look out for Jess in the new year and her exhibition. And season's greetings to you all.
Yeah.
And to you all, good night.
At 1,000 miles an hour, just another